Good evening, and welcome to Creative Broadcasting, the station of unlimited possibilities, presents Creating Your Seat at the Table with your host, Ashley Little, as she welcomes her guest to the table.
Welcome to Creating Your Seat at the Table. I am your host, Ashley Little. A little bit about myself: corporate professional by day, entrepreneur by night, 3-time best-selling author, CEO and founder of Ashley Little Enterprises, LLC, owner and creator of Creative Broadcasting, and co-founder and owner of Talk Radio and TV Network, LLP. Tonight we have an amazing special guest by the name of Nia Matthews. A little bit about her. Nia Brown Matthews is a certified life coach, best-selling author, motivational speaker, owner of women empowerment organization Soul Food Sessions with Nia, LLC, 2-time breast cancer survivor, ambassador for Forward Warriors in Pink, and retired real estate professional, as well as wife and mother. She writes inspiring self-help books to inspire others to overcome their life obstacles and challenges in order to become successful in life, love, and career. She attended East Carolina University and is married to retired Super Bowl champion Eric Matthews of the Green Bay Packers. They are very active in the Atlanta community, running their nonprofit Eric Matthews Foundation, helping low-income families and at-risk youth. Nia Matthews has been featured in numerous national media: Ebony, Black Enterprise, Black America Web, Rolling Out, Mommy Noor and Wendy Williams, ESPN, and Essence Main Stage twice, as well as featured in today's Purpose Woman magazine, to name a few. She is the founder of Too Fabulous for Cancer, a charity organization helping breast cancer patients fight the fight, as well as the founder of Soul Food Sessions with Nia, a woman empowerment organization created to uplift and empower women globally. Her books are sold nationally at Barnes & Noble, Amazon, and on her website, soulfoodsessionswithnia.com. Welcome to the table, the amazing Nia Matthews.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much, Nia, for coming to the table. I'm so honored and humbled to hear all the wisdom and knowledge you're going to share with my audience tonight concerning self-care. So before to get started, you have such an amazing bio, so I would like for you to talk to us more about your entrepreneur journey.
Sure thing. I started out with real estate. We all have that 9 to 5, the thing that puts the bread on the table. And it served me great purpose. I have worked a very long career in real estate, but I kind of sort of still felt like there was something tugging at my heart that I needed to do bigger. But, sometimes we are afraid of that entrepreneur thing that comes with us, not knowing, what you eat, you kill, and if you don't kill, right, you don't eat. So that whole process, but then here comes the stepping out on faith and knowing that my journey was going to be bigger, that platform was going to be bigger than the real estate platform that I had created for myself.
I love it. And you pretty much built the whole empire, a whole empire. And we're going to hear about that tonight. So I know the topic tonight is going to be self-care, and that's something that a lot of people don't like to talk about because, most of the time we don't fit it into our schedule like we need to, but we have to do it, right? So could you talk to us a little bit about, where should listeners start if they're new to self-care? Where should they start?
Listening to themselves, their bodies, their vessels. We get silent alarms all day long, no different than when you're driving a car and you get the check engine light or check oil light or gas light. All those lights are indicators that our body are in need of some type of service. And that goes with our vessels as well. We just tend not to listen to it because we're so busy doing and being everything for everybody that we don't see the warning signs go off. And as women, we're natural nurturers anyway, but when I started to see women coming to the events that I was having, they do so much. Amazing. They look good on paper. They have the life, the cars, the houses. The children are in private schools, but the mothers are running themselves ragged and not realizing that they are their own worst enemy, because you got to listen to yourself. And take the time to listen to the warning signs that come your way and realize that Superwoman is a fictional character and that person does not exist. So I think listening to your body is step one on the first step to self-care is listening to your vessel.
And that's so important, right? And, sometimes we'll ignore that until it's something life-threatening happens, and then everything crashes, right? Why do you think people wait until something tragic happens to really, start practicing that stuff? Why do you think that it takes that much for us to really pay attention?
In my career as a life coach, what a lot of clients end up telling me is that they feel guilty. They feel guilty for, doing things for themselves. They feel like that maybe that should be for somebody else, or they don't know how to. They've never seen their mom take a break, or they've watched their household run a certain kind of way. And then when they do take, and I'm not talking about going to get your nails done or a pedicure or anything like that. I'm talking about really kind of sort of zero in and just listening to the voice of your creator and yourself, kind of sort of finding that time or finding that place even in your house to decompress from the world. But again, we are natural nurturers. We're always there, shaking and baking, building empires, raising families, working on nonstop until we get the high blood pressure, until we get the obesity, or till we get the, high cholesterol, all those signs that tells us that our body is overloaded. But now I'm just seeing a lot of influx in my clients with having anxiety. And anxiety is just your body telling your brain that it's under attack. And so it starts to do the hyperventilating. You can't sleep at night. You're taking sleeping pills. Insomnia's kicked in. You can't eat well. Like, all of these are contributing factors to not taking care of your vessel.
Wow. So for our listeners that are experiencing some of these things, we need to start paying attention now, right? Because you never would think, sometimes when you can't sleep or you have that anxiety, sometimes you just think it might be work or something, right? But it's really our body telling us that, okay, I need some help. I need you to focus on me right now, right? So
absolutely.
We got to start paying. We got to start paying attention to the signs, because you're so right. If the signs they come, we just ignore them.
And when I see women, successful women, entrepreneurs, teachers, doctors, lawyers, all these women who are, like I said, they're owning it. They're owning it in their own right. But when they come to these retreats, and I'm having to pour back into them, they've allowed themselves to go beyond the reserve light fuel. In the car, when that car light comes on, you don't know how much gas you have until you end up on the side of the road. But a lot of us are allowing our bodies and minds and souls to get to that exact place. So that's why we are walking around here with, tension and headaches and migraines and blood pressure and all types of issues. They can't even allow anything else new to come in. Like, God can't even give you more because you're living a cluttered life as is. So it's like there's no more room. So he's like, if there's no more room, then I'm just going to let you just sit here in this until you declutter. And that's exactly what's needing. We're having to do it. The decluttering process is needing to happen like right now.
You are so right, because we can't pour into other people if we're not pouring into ourselves, right? We can't pour from an empty vessel. That's so important. You're right. That decluttering, because a lot of us have some of that and we just don't want to do it, but we need to do it because it's needed. So.
Yes, and it what happens, it goes into all aspects of your life. So if you're having, issues or cluttering and not knowing how to say no and not putting yourself first and feeling guilty, all of that trickles on into some way, fashion, form in our life, whether it's your home life, your work life, your finances, your love life, all of that. It all works. It's all one vessel. So I say this. Find a way to streamline all the things that you need to accomplish. Not to say that it has to happen tomorrow, but you need to streamline and learn how to say no and don't feel guilty for saying it.
That's a big one. That's going. We could talk through the interview. I have a question on that to go more into that, because that's so important. And I think, like you said, people feel guilty when we say no, but that's healthy actually to say no.
Absolutely. But people's like, how do you say no? People are going to be in their feelings. They're going to be mad, but guess what? They're going to be living. They're going to be fine. They're going to be just fine. And you don't have to be rude about it. It's just that, again, people will only do no more than what you allow them to do. And if they see that you're always available, they see that you're always a resource, they see that you're always a plug, they're going to keep coming to you because you're enabling that very behavior. So the minute you say, you know what, I can't, they may be like in their feelings for 5 seconds, but guess what? They love you. They'll get over it. And, you're going to be living your best life. Healthy.
I love it. Yeah, that is the key, living our best life. Love that, Naya.
Yes.
So So will you please discuss more about the role of therapy in self-care and the difference between therapy and coaching? Nobody wants to talk about therapy, but therapy is healthy.
It absolutely is. We got the stigma that, I don't want to go lay on a couch and tell anybody my problems. But believe it or not, that's the reason why we are still stuck or stagnated, because we're not allowing people to come in and actually help us cope, a biased person, that is, to come in and kind of sort of, help you work through those things that you would never thought of thinking. Like, people sometimes are reason why they can't live their best life is because they have not apologized, or they're holding resentment, or they're holding, some type of emotion, something that could start it from a childhood. But when you have a life coach, it's like we're here to help negate through that thing, and to a point where I bet you didn't think about it like this, or let me give you a resource or a tool to try, exercise, a challenge. And then when you start kind of sort of pulling at that, you start to unveil a whole lot of more things that should be addressed. I'm telling you, because we keep harboring all these things. People can't even let go. And so it's my job as a life coach to kind of sort of help pull you out. But we do have this stigma that, oh, you're crazy if you need a therapist. No, you're not. You're actually smart, because this person is here to help you, again, live your best life. All you need is a little help. We all need a little help.
Right. And it's okay. Even healthy people go to therapy, right? We have to embrace that.
Exactly. Even if I have a mentor, I have a coach. Even a coach needs to be coached. Again, you can't process all this with, we have masterminds, brilliant minds, ideas, innovative. And in order to do that, to reach that full capacity, we have to talk about it. We have to have dialogue about it, conversation. It's all healthy. So I look at it like this. If you just want somebody to talk to just to bounce some ideas off, who says anything wrong with that, right? The more the merrier.
Right. Hey, I always say even Oprah has a coach. We all need somebody.
Yes. Exactly.
So I know we talked about, saying no earlier. So will you please elaborate more on, how saying no is healthy for us, for our self-care? Because, as we said it before, people feel guilty when they say no. They want to always be the superwoman or the superman, but we have to learn how to do that in order to have that balance.
And the thing about it, for those who love you and know you, they're going to have to respect it, right? But I'm saying, and I had to learn this through experience when I wrote my first book about the boss in you. We talk about not learning how to, when you say no and you say it unapologetically, don't say it with the guilt. Don't say it with the, all right, then I'll do it, or I didn't mean to, to hurt your feelings. I'll do it anyway. It's like all we're doing is pushing ourselves back to this corner, as if we're, and we stay in that place because we don't value us. We don't value our time. We don't value our vessel. And when you don't value it, you'll take on anything, whether it's good for you or not. And we have a lot of people, adult people, attached to other human beings, kind of like an umbilical cord as a mother. You know how your child is attached to your belly, and whatever you put into your body, they eat. I'm seeing grown people walking around with other grown people attached to them, to the host, and draining them dry. Draining them dry. But because they only got a fraction of you, that's all they want anyway. I call them like opportunists. Sometimes it's even your kindred. I had to learn how to say no to my family. And they were like, oh, wow. Yeah, and it's tough. But trust me, they'll get over it. You have to put boundaries up. If you don't put them, it's healthy boundaries, though.
Yeah.
We don't want
to
do it.
And those are so important. Yeah.
Yes.
Those healthy boundaries. Now, you just spoke on a whole other topic by itself. Healthy boundaries. We have to learn to set those, right? Because that's important for us in order for us to be healthy, in order for us to be able to continue to pour into other people. We have to be healthy, correct? And know when to, like you said, have those boundaries set.
Absolutely. And what we're seeing, such ladies that attend my retreats and even my life coaching clients, what I'm seeing is them not learning how to allow the people to drink from the saucer. They're allowing them to drink from the cup. And that cup is supposed to be filled between you and your Creator. God fills the cup up. I'm a very spiritual person. I don't shy away from it in my interviews. But I'm saying that God fills my cup up. I'm connected to Him. But what we've allowed people to do is to drink out of that cup instead of the overflow. So that's why we're walking around here depleted. That's why we're walking around here not living our best life, or we're at a cap, because we don't understand that we got to stop allowing people to keep just coming into that overflow. and going directly to that cup. And that cup ain't meant for them.
Right. And we have to know that self-care is not, getting your nails done and all that. Self-care is actually having that moment by yourself, putting the phone down, not answering it, and I'm sure you can elaborate on more of that. But we have to learn that's self-care too.
Absolutely. I mean, I know because nowadays when you go to a nail shop, it's noisy, people's talking, TV's on, you're really not relaxing, and your body knows that. So it's one of those, you do have to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 from the world, create some type of schedule, routine where you're meditating, you're in your prayer room, you're in a room, you're studying, your office by yourself, and kind of sort of to decompress and not picking up the phone when you wake up in the morning, because a lot of people are getting into this routine of they roll over and they grab their cell phones and looking at social media, looking at the likes, looking at the comments and all of that. No, you don't even know if your leg's working. You could be completely paralyzed, but that's the first thing you grab is your phone. Like, we have to learn how to disconnect, and it's for your health is at stake here, because we're seeing them die younger and younger from heart attack, heart issues. Are you not? Like, you see that?
Yeah. Yeah, and you're so right about the social media part. A lot of people are very addicted to it. They don't know they're addicted, but they are. That's the first thing they do is roll over and look at Instagram or Facebook.
Exactly. And then how about the people pleasers? People who always their whole life been people pleasers and always go to the plug for everybody. They probably wouldn't even know how to be more than what they are, what that name, the title they've given themselves. And the people pleasers, they're gonna. I promise you, those are the ones that they are coming to the point where they're at breaking. They're at a breaking point because they can't take anymore, and they're not happy. And you can tell they got the front up, but when the walls come down, that's when I can see the truth. But I want them to catch it before it gets to that point.
So what is the biggest obstacle when it comes to self-care that you've seen so far with your clients?
What I've seen with that is it's always that form of guilt. It is. They just feel like, it's just for them it's guilty because they've always made time for everybody. So, for instance, if I tell you, hey, come on for the weekend, 3 days, 2 nights, in the mountains, cut your phones off, disconnect. What? Oh, my God, my children are going to be calling me. Oh, what? My husband's going to be calling me. Like, I've seen it, and they've got this sense of guilt. So as the weekend goes by, they are going crazy about not being attached to their cell phones or not learning how to just rest. And it makes me sad. Because we are I'm a cancer survivor, but I know for a fact if you're not whole, meaning your body, you're not eating the right things, you're not getting the right amount of sleep, you don't have the right circle around you, you don't have the right people in your ear gate, all of that is affecting that vessel. And you may be living mediocre, but you're not living to your full capacity because you have not learned how to cut people off. You have not learned how to say no. You have not learned how to discipline yourself with your eating and your sleeping habits. Like it all works as one. And that's why being whole is important. Because how can you help somebody if you're not right yourself?
Right. That is so important. You said a lot of things, a lot of nuggets are said out, learning how to cut people off. Because that, people are part of self-care too. And sometimes everybody can't go. So you have to know how to make sure you have those positive people in your ear, those positive relationships, because that affects your self-care too. Just like saying no. All of that makes, like you said, it's a big circle.
And do you know when I ask the questions all the time is, are you happy or what makes you happy? Do you know people actually stutter because they got to think about it?
Oh, wow.
And then the answers that they have is their children. Well, I ask them whether their biggest, their best success or their biggest success, and it's my children, it's my husband. It's everybody but them. So I'm an advocate from self-care, self-love across the board, reflecting on that thing, not warring with that thing, but learning how important to get back to just you, and so that you will again be whole. And when you're whole, you live a better life. You'll say no and don't even think twice about it or you'll learn how to take a vacation with just you. Some people can't even do that. I'm seeing that. And now that I'm in chapter 2 of my life, it was cursed. It was cancer. It was a curse that saved my life. But what is it for other people? Is it a death in the family? Is it losing a job? Is it losing a friend or whatever that case may be. It makes you think about life in another manner when you're hit with something like that, like some life obstacle. But we can get over that thing.
And I just want to commend you for creating that space and reaching back and pulling forward to be able to come back and just share your, things that you went through to be able to help someone else, to say, we got to do better. We got to pay attention. We got to catch it before it gets to that part,
Absolutely.
So thank you for doing that and creating that space.
Because it's bigger than us. I think that we all have a supreme destiny over our lives. But the thing about it is, when you go through things, sometimes people say, oh, why me, why me? And it's like, why not you? You may have that very thing the world needs. You might have a cure for something. You might have a solution for something. But sometimes we're so clouded in our minds with things and peoples and how they made us feel or what they didn't say, that it seeps into our world. And I feel that we cut ourselves short because we're allowing something as small as saying I'm sorry or saying no or saying I choose me that can hinder you from living your best life. So it's like I'm a midwife. I'm going to help pull that thing out you.
Yes, I love it. Birthing it. Right. So you please share with our listeners some strategies on how to balance, self-care with still being a good friend, a partner, and a parent. How can they balance it all and still be a good person at the end of the day, so they won't feel like, okay, I've left my family, I've left my kids hanging, but it makes, everything come to full circle.
Well, I believe, it's all about self-analysis, right? You have to look at your life because everybody's life is different.
Yeah.
And we play all different types of roles. But you need to analyze. Time management is my friend. Like, there's no way that I'm able to do and be for everybody if I didn't go by a time management, didn't have a calendar in place. There's tools that we can use, like right now, to kind of sort of, to help streamline our busy lives, right? And then so we won't be forgetting, so we won't leave somebody hanging or whatever the case may be. But my first question to people is asking you is, what gives you energy? What makes you happy? And so when you say it's my family, then clearly I know that your life is built around your family. So we have to ensure that home base is solid. Let's be clear, because the enemy wants to steal, kill, and destroy. You know that. So if he can't get you because your vessel whole, the next thing he's going to come after is your children, your husband, your finances, right? So we have to be very wise on being able to see it before it's coming. In order to do that, we have to make sure our mind is clear, our body is clear, our body is whole, we're prayed up, right? So when I ask the question, what makes you happy, and if you say, oh, it's my career, now how well is that working for you? Are you working crazy hours, or are you working without overtime? Can you not delegate some of the work that you're doing? Does it really have to be you? You have to analyze that thing. So with everybody, it's a program that's set up different. All I can say is, but you do have to learn how to make sure that whatever the factors are, it's a level of efficiency. You have to be strategic and intentional. So don't say you want to do the work and you're not willing to put the work in and do it, because you're going to get back to square one.
Right. Because we can't win without doing the work.
Absolutely. And people want you to hold their hands. Right. Yeah. They want you to hold their hands. And here we go back to that, codependency thing. Yeah. Going back to that. And I'm like, no, help me help you. Those are the words that I use quite a bit. Help me help you. Because there's no need of me to keep doing it for you if you're not learning. I can teach you how to fish, but I'm not going to always keep giving you the fish. I'm going to teach you, and then you use the tools that I showed you. And sometimes people just want to they're attached to that umbilical cord. They don't want to let go. And you have to ask God for the discernment to say, listen, give me the words to say so that I am not hurting their feelings, but I have to choose me. You have to choose. You have to command your day. Every day you get out of the bed, command your day. I am first. I choose me. God spare my life. I'm going to live it to its full capacity. Those are words and affirmation that I say consistently. That's why I'm a very positive person. I just believe in putting that out there.
I love it. Because that's so important. And for our listeners, make sure you're choosing you every day. And that's so important, because if you're going to bet on anybody, bet on yourself. You're going to bet on anyone.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
That is so true. And keeping that mindset, that's the name of the game. Like, are you taking the steps in the direction that makes you happy? And it's going to be revealed in due time anyway. Like the fruits of your labor, it's going to manifest as you praying. It's manifesting, but you have to be ready and open to be receiving of the very things that you're asking for.
Yes, call it positioning yourself, preparation.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about your amazing charity organization, Too Fabulous for Cancer. Can you please tell us about it and how we can support and get involved?
Absolutely. Too Fabulous for Cancer is just a charity organization. I know my husband always says I downplay it, but to me it's just like part of my bigger purpose in life is just to make the women that are going through the cancer treatment, kind of give them a glam makeover. Take their minds of what they're currently going through, and we raise money through charity events. We do tailgating with the NFL players here in Atlanta. We do that every during the fall months, and basically we collect money to help them with the co-pays, help them parking at the hospital, help them with like I said, give them a mani and pedi, a massage, just to get their mind off of that thing. And I know there's bigger organizations like Susan G. Komen, American Cancer Society, but guess what? There's a lot of red tape that comes with that. Like, that's not just available to everybody. So I wanted to do something more on the local level to help women that I know, people who've inboxed me, Facebook, social media, written me emails, kind of sort of those who I feel like are connected to me, and I see a need and I feel it. So that's basically what I am, just merely a servant, just to help.
Amazing. Are you thinking about one day eventually maybe taking it to a national level, or are you going to keep it at a local level?
I was until this Soul Food Sessions came about, and that kind of sort of grew legs. And they said if you want to do something well, I got to do one thing at a time. So I think as Too Fabulous for Cancer has been around for quite a bit, and it has the capacity to become, global, I guess, but I have too many hands in the pot right now. I got a lot going on, so let me just kind of streamline it. Let me take my own advice and streamline.
Yes, I love that, though. Will you please, before we go, though, I want to make sure that everybody knows how to support each and every one of your organizations, because you have, like I said, you've built an enterprise. So let's talk about Soul Food Sessions right now, your women empowerment organization. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, oh, my goodness gracious. That is my baby. You would have never told me a year ago to date that I would be doing anything on this capacity. It was more or less just like a weekend getaway for the girls, just to kind of sort of hang out. And I kind of sort of just pour into them, build them up. And then next thing you know, we're doing it every 3 months. And then it sells out so fast, because there it goes that when you find something and you have a need, you feel like, for instance, something that kind of irks you, right? You see a need for it. 9 times out of 10, you got the solution. And what he wanted me to do, when I say him, I mean God, is like he wanted me to get into once I retired, he was able to download into me. He wasn't able to do it when I was busy in real estate, because I was always going. So I retired out of that, and so now it's no excuse. I got more than enough time to hear him speak to me. And he says, this is what you're going to do. You're going to take them to the mountaintop, and you're going to pour back into them. You're going to refuel them. You're going to restore them. You're going to empower them. So I was probably a life coach before I even called a life coach, before there was even such thing. And he puts the super on my natural, and I have a great team that helps me pour into the ladies during the weekend. It's massages. It is, I have a chef. We have yoga and meditation. We have exercises. We have life coaching sessions. You name it, we got it.
Well, how can listeners get involved and, purchase and become a member? How can they do those things?
They can go to soulfoodsessionswithnaya.com. That is my go-to for everything that I'm involved in, all the way down to the Too Fabulous for Cancer. If you have a story and you feel like you want to share your story or somebody else's story, you can email me with that information for contact. And like I said, with Soul Food Sessions with Naya, we have a cruise that's already sold out, and we have an October retreat that's already sold out too. So you got to ask.
That is amazing. Well, super congratulations on both of your sold out events. So listeners, unfortunately, you can't participate in the September and October events. I'm sure she's going to have more.
Absolutely. Just stay tuned. I am so grateful for it.
Yes. Let's talk about your other your nonprofit with your husband, Eric Matthews Foundation. Will you tell us more about that?
Yes. Now, my husband is a former player, and he is, I mean, that man has a heart as big as the city of Atlanta. He loves to help the youth, football camps, clinics, and one thing he kept seeing an influx in was the obesity level with the children, because now kids are more techie. They don't go outside anymore. They don't ride bikes, and so they're not in shape. And back in the days, you know, we had played recess and tug of war, all those kind of things that we used to do growing up, and kids just kind of sort of get away from that. So my husband has an activity called Kids Play Hard, where they go into the school system and they do like a recess for not just the parents but the kids too. So it's like a collective, getting the parents involved and engaged with their children. And we're blessed to have sponsorships and grants and things like that, so that these camps are free for the children in the community. And so I stand alongside with him as the VP to help him, you know, bring his vision to life as well. So I'm here.
That's awesome. And thank you all for creating that space. Our youth really, really need it. You're right. They don't know about riding the bikes anymore or going outside. That's over.
No.
It's all the social media and the phones, right?
Absolutely, it is. It's a blessing and a curse at the same time. I tell you that. You got to be very wise on how to use it.
Yes. And I ask all of my guests this next question. How did you create your seat at the table? I know you already bought the table, Naya, but how did you create your seat at the table?
I listened to the voice. I did. I listened to the voice, and I was obedient. And once you're obedient, the tools will come, the resources would come, the finances will come if you just open up your heart to what it is that God is trying to tell you. And that's how I was able to make, find my seat at the table or buy the table, whatever you have. I'm merely a servant. And I feel that I had to make sure that my life, it was like isolation for consecration. I had to isolate myself from things and people, kindred, all of it, in order for I can hear his voice clear. And when I did that, I promise you, it was like an outline being written. I wrote my book, the last book, in 3 days. I mean, and that's that isolation for consecration. I just had to go get in a quiet place and just allow him to download. And I just typed as he downloaded. And so I'm saying that to say, it's very hard to do a lot of things at one time well. You could do it, but you're not doing it to its full capacity. But if you streamline it, if you really streamline and listen to the voice of God, then I feel like that's the door opener for all of it.
I love it. Isolation for consecration. I love it. That's so needed. That's so important.
Yes, ma'am.
So what did failure teach you on your journey?
What do? I'm sorry.
What did failure teach you on your journey?
Listen, that's not even an option over here. I mean, I was more feared of success. It's like, you know you have a dynamic purpose. I knew I had a dynamic purpose in my life. I just had no idea how I was going to get there. So I was a little kid that would dream in color. I knew my name would be on the television. I knew my name would be in the lights. I knew it at a very young age. And my mother would speak that over me all the time. My father would speak that over to me. They said, girl, you somebody, boss, you somebody. You're going to be speaking to millions of women dressed in all white. I'm like, what? And then, boom, Essence happened. They called me. So I'm seeing it come to fruition of I'm not afraid of failing. I'm just more or less sometimes that success. The higher you go, oh my goodness! They said new levels, new devils. But I'm grateful that I have the gift of discernment to see it before it happens. So yeah.
Well, you just answered my question about what the success teacher. You're right, that discernment, and the higher you go, the more you got to stay on your knees, right?
That's right. That's so true. And sometimes it's lonely because people don't always get the vision because they weren't given the vision. So you can tell and explain people all the time, like, you need to calm down. Like, no, you just don't know what he's shown me. It's like he'll allow you to peep into your future. And I just knew that it was going to take not just me, but it's hard to find some good people that you can trust, that can get the vision. And so when he sends them and aligns it all up, Lord knows I'm just grateful that I couldn't be able to do anything without my team. And they are amazing. They're probably listening now. You guys rock. Thank you.
I love it. Because you're right. That sharing that vision is so important because you can't share with everybody. You have to protect that. You have to protect your anointing. You have to protect all of those things. Right. So that is so important. So what can we expect from Naya Matthews the rest of 2019? We know the retreat is sold out. We know the cruise is sold out. What else can we expect from the amazing Naya Matthews?
Well, we are on standby for Essence this year. I normally do a book signing, and so we are on standby. I think they are behind the 8 ball with giving out all the submissions. So you may see me at Essence Festival again this year, and then definitely you'll see me. I have we're going to do a winter retreat. So for those who are listening who want to go, if you missed the fall one, definitely pay attention to for the winter one that we'll be having as well. So that's where I'm focusing a lot of my energy on right at the moment. We do have the tailgate coming up for the breast cancer, but I don't want to give a date out quite yet until I confirm it with the NFL. So once we do that, then people can definitely come to that tailgate. It's going to be awesome.
Awesome. So will you please tell our listeners again how they can follow and support you on social media and get involved?
Yes, you can go to soulfoodsessionswithnaya.com. And if you're interested in your child joining the NFL camps, summer camps, free camps that my husband and I have, they can go to the Eric Matthews Foundation.org and get your child signed up for that as well, the free camp.
Well, I would like to thank you, Naya. Go ahead.
No, with social media, everything is the same. Naya Brown Matthews, if you look for me on social media.
Yes, so please follow and support her. Naya Matthews is pretty amazing. I consistently follow you, and you're always doing something amazing. So definitely reach out to her, get involved, because she has a lot of amazing things going on. I just would like to thank you, Naya, for taking the time out of your very, very busy schedule, coming right off of vacation to do this interview today. You are amazing, and I can't wait to bring you back to the table.
I am so excited. Thank you for using your platform for such good as this. You are too amazing. I've seen you. I've researched you, and you have an amazing platform, and you are just doing the exact same thing that we're both doing. We're trying to change the world one person at a time.
Yes, and I'm so honored and humbled. Thank you so much, Naya, for those words, and just know that I'm honored and humbled to be able to even interview you today, so thank you.
Thank you again.
All right. So you all, I would like to give a special thanks to Tammy Collins Marquis and John Schamberger. I would also like to give a special thanks to author Kimberly McLemore. I would like to give a special thanks to my intern, Sarah, from Tennessee State University, and my other intern, Tyler, from Tennessee State University. You all may follow me on Facebook at Ashley Little and on Instagram at _Ashley A. Little. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Creating Your Seat at the Table, where Ashley speaks with corporate professionals, celebrities, entrepreneurs, authors, and speakers who are transitioning or have transitioned to entrepreneurship.